Shalom. All praises, glory, honor, and fear. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Waharakah Kadash. That belongs to the elders, those that are in the spirit and remain in the authority of the Lord. Not of men, but of the Lord. And citation election, the real house of David. And, the brother made a heavy point going into how when gold and precious metals is being purified, that the impurities and all basically the scum and all the dirt and all that, the impurities, right? The things that ain't a part of like the solid gold or the diamond or the silver, what happens to it is it rises to the top. And that's what's happened to a lot of guys in this truth. They got so much honors from men. They've got so praised that they've actually risen to the top. And that's what it means, the Lord said, to beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and scribes. You got these Jews, you got the guys that are in the spirit of Pharisees and scribes, that are the Pharisees and scribes, trying to talk to you about beware the leaven of Pharisees and scribes. But they're not telling you that it's them, you see? But see, what's happening is guys' tongues is falling upon their own selves. And you can't do anything against this truth for this truth. And what does leaven do? It rises to the top. It rises up. And that's what the wicked have done. They've risen up against the Lord and his anointed, which the low, right, and the gold, right, when they're being purified and brought through that fire and that purification, they stay at the bottom, you see, because we have the heavier matters of the law. So we're at the bottom. You see, we're at the bottom. We actually have weight. We don't float to the top like an air balloon that doesn't weigh nothing. What we hold, Yahushua, the word, it's actually bringing everything down, you see? And we're at the bottom, you see? So you have to understand that. Now, the main topic of this video, I want to get into this, is, I've been seeing like a lot of comments on my Concord, which, I don't get a lot of traffic on my channel because, I can barely keep the channel up. But nonetheless, I've been having certain brothers and certain people on my comment boards here and there, like every other day or something. And, either sincerely or not sincerely, but at the end of the day, you have to keep your mouth. You have to keep your foot when you come to the Most High and be more ready to listen than to speak and give a sacrifice of fools. And you guys don't even know that you're giving a sacrifice of fools. And see, when you have the truth and like you're getting like built up and you're strong and the Lord has basically set us up to teach and show and be an example. Then what these like reprobates and guys that think they know it all, these know-it-alls, right? They try to come on our comp board, try to come to our camp and try to tell us something. Well, this is this and that and that. You see, and it's prideful, man. It's prideful, and it's gonna get a lot of people destroyed because they're not willing to lower themselves as a little child and listen and learn and really soak this whole thing up, this spirit. You see, Ecclesiastes 5:1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and this is the house of the Lord, which is amongst us, the house of David. It says, and be more right to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. So God's doing evil just in that, you see. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thy heart be hasty to utter anything before God, for God is in heaven and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few, you see. So when you're on earth, this is where the judgment happens. And you had this parable, the Lord said, how you had this publican, and he thought he was righteous in his own eyes. He thought he was good. And he was using many words. He was using a whole lot of words, just talking the Lord's ear off. Like, yeah, I'm happy I'm not like them. Like other men, I'm happy I'm not like this publican, this sinner. I'm not like them. Yeah, and I do this, I tithe. I do this, I do that, I do videos. You see? But he didn't go down justified. You see? So, let me get that precept. We're all sinners. But the difference between us is we're actually fighting. We're actually fighting, man, and putting off the flesh. Putting on the weak nature and putting on the strong, which is Yahushai. It says, Luke 18 in verse, and this is one of my favorite parables, Luke 18 in verse 10. I'll start verse 9. It says, And he spake this parable unto a certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous. And the Lord said, don't trust in your own way. Lean not unto your understanding. Guys, they're actually trusting in their camp. They're trusting in their flesh. And that ain't going to get you nowhere. It's going to get you nowhere quick, man. The flesh can only get you so far. It says, I parable unto certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despise others. And that's what guys' spirit is in. They're in the spirit. They despise the humble, right? And they trust themselves that they're righteous. You see? Verse 10, 2 men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican. So the first thing you notice is that, you know, the Lord said it's either yes or no. Anything else other than that is evil. So it's either you're in the spirit of this Pharisee, or if you're in the spirit of this publican. So basically going into it, it's either you're in the spirit of a sinner that's repentful, that's sorry for his sins and is just saying few words before the Lord, or you're in the spirit of a Pharisee just blabbing off about what you've done. Oh, I do this, I do that, I do that. That's a heathenistic, worldly communication, man. You see? So they went to the temple to pray, right? And then another thing you notice about verse 10 is that one was a Pharisee and one was a publican. You see, one had a place in the camp in the synagogue, was praised and loved of men, while the other was a publican, a sinner. And when you go into the publicans during the time of the Romans and Yahushua and the Pharisees, the publicans were hated, man, because what the publicans were doing, they were basically collecting the money, right, the taxes for Esau. You see, so these were very hated men. Men hated these guys because they were taking their money, you see. Verse 11, the Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself, God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are. See, but he wasn't. See, the thing is about these Pharisees and you guys is that you're so worried about other camps and, oh, this guy and that guy and vocab and this one and Biden and this and Esau, that you forget yourself in the mirror, man. You see? It says that I am not as other men, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. You see? But it's crazy because that's exactly what he was, man. He was a hypocrite. He was just saying this with his mouth, but in all actuality, he was all those things and more. Verse 12, I fast twice in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. See, so guys really think that you can buy the Lord off. You can, I'm going to give money to the elders. I'm going to give money to this guy, and everyone's going to like me, and I'm going to get a kingdom ticket into a chariot. Even we had an Edomite come up to camp, and he was like, well, why ain't we in slavery yet? And then he bro, I didn't even say nothing. He's like, yeah, those are chariots of God. So these Edomites, even these low-level Edomites, like some of them know like of the truth, and like they want to know what's up. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing, like they know certain things of the truth, you know? Like, yeah, that's the chariots of God, the UFOs, but does that mean they're in the truth or they're striving for the truth? Nah, man, it doesn't mean that. Same thing with guys in this truth that claim to be Israelites, that claim to be apostles and elders and prophets. Luke 8, and the reason why we're so hated, man, is because we're revealing all you wicked on a high rate, you know? And we're very annoying, and it's like you're trying to find somewhere to hide, some gray area, but we're bringing the light full throttle that there's nowhere to hide no more. There's nowhere to, like, deceive with a rough garment, as it says in Zechariah. Luke 18:13, and the publican standing afar off, you see? You see, says, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. You see that? So that's the spirit that the Lord's elect is in. You know, be merciful. They're merciful to their brethren, and they're trying to attain the mercy of the Lord, the forgiveness of sins, being cleansed. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. And you guys are abominations, man. In GMS, Great Millstone, you guys are abominations. Sakari, all you camps, man. Because you justify yourselves amongst men, man. You justify yourselves amongst men. And you're abomination, Luke 16:15. Just like this Pharisee did, man. Oh, I'm glad I'm not like him. I'm glad I'm not like them that got kicked out the camp. And I'm glad I'm not like them and I'm like that. Yeah, just blabbing out the mouth, man. You see? Says, for everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. So we're in the time of a lowly being exalted, man. The lowly, the humble, the ones that have been downtrodden for time and time again. But we're in the time now, being brought up. What the Lord say? Come up thither, come up hither, my friend. You see, like the marriage, don't seek the high seat. And when you seek a low seat, when you get in a low seat, what is the Lord eventually going to say? Come up higher, my friend. And you're not going to be humiliated. You're going to be ashamed of the Lord. A lot of guys are being ashamed of the Lord because the Lord's saying, Lord's giving them seats to those that really are worthy of it and who is really for. That's why Yahushua said, it's not me to give who's going to sit next to me in my Father's kingdom to judge, but the fathers. And it's heavy too because, the scriptures say in Matthew 23, 1 to verse 2, how the Pharisees, they sit in Moses' seat, but it's not their seat to begin with. That's why there's a lot of wrong judgment coming forth from the heads that judge for reward, that judge for hire. The hirelings, man, they're doing it for money. And your money's going to perish with you, man. You ain't going to buy off the Lord with that. See, for a long time, you thought the Lord was like you guys, man. Wolves, partial, reprobate, right? Just like the brother brought out, the gold. When you purify gold, all the nastiness and the dirtiness that's not a part of the original source, right? It just floats to the top because there's no weight to it. You see, that's like how a lot of you guys are. Sirach 32 and verse 9. If thou be among great men, not just because, if you're just because in GMS, if you're just in that camp, that does not make you great in the eyes of the Lord. You see? And it's heavy too, because going into that prophecy about Esau, he has made him small amongst the heathen and greatly despised. You see? The Lord's making you guys real small in the spirit. See, in the flesh, you're big and mighty and great, yeah. But in the spirit, you're small. You have a small portion of the spirit. You see? That's why you're not going to heavier waiters of the law. Heavier matters of the law. Faith, mercy, and judgment. It says, if thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them. And especially don't make yourself equal to the Yahushua, because the Yahushua is in the midst. And Lord is visiting the earth right now through his candles and through the spirit and the Lord coming back. He's coming closer and closer to the earth. That's why shit's burning up everywhere, man. You see? It says, make not thyself equal with them. And when ancient men are in place, use not many words. Whew. You see? And see, length of years and gray hair does not consist of if you're an ancient man, you see? Like Yahushua, even though Yahushua was born after John the Baptist, he was preferred before John the Baptist. You know, to put it in terms, Yahushua was John the Baptist's elder, even though he was born before him. You see? So that's another thing you have to understand about the scriptures too. You see? You can't judge someone by their, you can't judge a book by their cover. You know, and they have a saying, age is just a number. Well, yeah, somewhat that's true. In this situation I'm bringing out, that's a good example. You see, so guys are using many words and trying to justify themselves, and they're trying to condemn others that are just being merciful and bowing down and truly worshiping the Lord, man. You know, repenting. They hate those that are truly repenting from the heart, because they're not doing that. You see? Jeremiah 14 and verse 7, O Lord, though our iniquities testify against us, do thou it for thy name's sake. Right, so Lord is doing all this because of his great name, not because of our works or how much videos we do or because we're so great and mighty, but because he's put his name on us. And that's what's so powerful about this truth too, is that the Lord's name is on us. So it's not because of our own righteousness, but it's because of what the Lord has done for us. You know, look at the Lord said, while they were yet sinners, Yahushua died for them, you see? So it all goes into predestination, man. And those that are blessed, the ones that have been blessed are the ones that have their sins forgiven. You see, that's what it's all coming down to. Jeremiah 14 and 7, for our backslidings are many, and we have sinned against thee. O the hope of Israel, the Savior thereof in time of trouble, which we are in trouble right now, man. We're in very troubling, evil times. It says, trouble. Why shouldest thou be as a stranger in the land, and as a wayfaring man that turneth aside to tarry for a night? You see, so you're supposed to get intimate and have a close relationship with the Lord, you know, one-on-one, not you in the camp. This is between you and the Lord, you see? So don't be a stranger to the Lord. It says, why shouldst thou be as a man astonished, as a mighty man that cannot save? Yet thou, O Lord, art in the midst of us, and we are called by thy name. Leave us not. You see, so Yahushua is in the midst of us, and he's not going to leave his elect. He's gonna show himself more and more unto the perfect day. Verse 10, thus saith the Lord unto this people, thus have they loved to wander, right? They ain't following the shepherd. They ain't following the Yahushua whithersoever he goeth. So it's like, yeah, the Lord's going into danger, right? He's going into dark situations and, into like, saying, but the sheep hear his voice, and only the sheep are actually like following him and going into certain chapters and verses that he wants to be brought out and gone into. It says, Jeremiah 14:10, they have not refrained their feet. You see? They're using many words. It says they have not refrained their feet. And now let's go back real quick. Ecclesiastes 5. And the Lord said, keep thy foot. You see? So we ain't going to go back. Let's just stay here. The Lord said, keep thy foot when thou comest to the house of the Most High. But see, guys, they think that the house of the Lord is like of men, but it's not. It's of the Lord, you see? It says, verse 10 says, they have not refrained their feet, right? They haven't stopped their feet from wandering and going away from the Lord and away from the light and the truth. Further and further. It says, therefore the Lord doth not accept them. He will now remember their iniquity and visit their sins. Then said the Lord unto me, pray not for this people, for their good. So no good is coming to the wicked of our nation, man. None. And it's not going to get any better for you false prophets, for you fake elders, for you fake prophets, man. You fake brothers, man. You're not a part of the family. You see? You're heathens. You're strangers, man. You're alienated from the Lord in the covenant of life, because you made a covenant with death. You see? Genesis 28 and verse 16. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep. And we're awakening, man, as a lion, just like the Lord, roaring for the prey. It says, and he said, surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. Oh man, it's heavy too, because when you go into Revelation, it talks about the 12 gates. And what was on the 12 doors? The name of the 12 apostles, man. And Lord said he's going to send the apostles last, not first. Not when the truth first came out. No, the Lord saved the wine, just like the wine. He's saving the best for last, man. We're in the last right now. You see, his best warriors, man, his special forces. They have the force of righteousness, man, the force of Yahushua and the word of the Spirit. You see? And all other forces are coming down. So this is the gate of heaven, and you have to come through the two witnesses to enter in, because Yahushua is in the midst of the two olive trees. You see? And they hate him that rebuketh in the gate. So yeah, we're going to be hated. Just like Scarface said, you want me to be the bad guy? I'll be the bad guy. You just see someone to point your finger. And that's what you guys are doing. You're pointing your finger, man. Matter of fact, let me get this precept. In Isaiah. Nothing really feels right until, we get this word out, Life don't really feel right. Because this is our true, what's the word? This is our true destiny, like this is our real profession, man. This is what we wake up every day for. You know what I'm saying? Not to go to work and make a couple dollars. Nah, man. So let me read this. Alright. This is Isaiah. Let's see. Yeah, Isaiah 58 and verse 9. Let me bring this out. It says, let me see if I'll start a little bit up. Isaiah 58. Yeah, let me start verse 8. It says, I'll just get on this app. I'm just going slow. Yeah, but so we're in a beautiful time, man. Isaiah 58 and verse 7. No, 8. It says, Isaiah 58:8, it says, then shall thy light break forth as the morning. So the Lord's going to give his men that bright morning star. You see? That rises up before everything else. It says, and thine house shall spring forth speedily, and thy righteousness shall go before thee. The glory of the Lord shall be thy reward. So our reward is the glory of the Lord. That's why the Lord said, when the Lord shall be revealed, then shall we also be revealed with him in exceeding great glory. You see? Because as the Father has glorified the Son, so has the Son glorified the house of David, the sons of power, their friends, the brothers. Verse 9, then shalt thou call, and the Lord shall answer. So you got to get to that phone booth, man. And when they were giving certain directions, like, all right, take this right, take the next left. Get the phone booth right next to the barbershop. You'd have to get that specific phone booth, man, to get out the matrix. Same thing now, man. You see, guys think they just pick up any call. They can just pick up any phone. The Lord's very particular. It says, then shalt thou call, and the Lord shall answer. Thou shalt cry, and he shall say, here I am. If thou take away from the midst of thee the yoke, and that's what we're doing. We're taking away the yoke, the bondage, the oppressors, the persecutors. Not just Esau, our own nation too, that oppress the spirit. You see, we're taking away the yoke from the midst of us. The putting forth of the finger and speaking vanity. So we're putting that out. We're ousting that, man. Guys that point the finger, he did it. Look at him. He did it. But it's heavy too, because most of the time when people are snitching and shit and like pointing the finger and telling other people and trying to like defame other people, most of the time it's them that is really not guilty, man. Or should I say Saki, or that is guilty. It says, and the Lord shall guide thee continually, and satisfy thy soul in drought, and make fat thy bones, and thou shalt be like a watered garden, and like a spring of water whose waters fail not. So we're not, while everyone else is failing around us and not standing the test of time, not enduring to the end, we're going to be strong through it all, through the thick and thin. Leviticus 10 in verse 3. Then Moses said unto Aaron, this is it that the Lord spake, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me, and before all the people will I will be glorified. And Aaron held his peace. And this was right before Aaron's sons, the sons of Aaron, the sons of the priesthood, Aaron. They offered a strange fire that the Lord didn't command them to. And Lord, the same fire that they kindled, it devoured them that they died. So just because they were their father was great as Aaron, a saint, didn't mean they were what's the word? Innocent. You see? So the Lord, he's not gonna judge you because of what camp or who your father is or shit. He's gonna judge you because of what you're doing. Like it says in Ezekiel, the father shall not suffer for the son's sake, neither shall the son suffer for the father's sake. Everyone shall bear his own burdens. You see? So that's what a lot of guys are doing now. Nadab and Abihu, sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer and put fire therein and put incense thereon and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he commanded them not. And a lot of you guys out there in all these camps, you're offering a very strange fire, man. It is strange. It is demonic. And that same fire that you're kindling and that you're putting out there, it's going to be the same thing to consume you, man, by the Lord. You see? Just like the sin of Nadab and Abihu. 2 Chronicles 26 and verse 16. But when he was, let me start verse let's just start verse 15. All right, it says, and he made in Jerusalem engines. This was Uzziah the king. All right, it says, invented by cunning men to be on the towers and upon the bulwarks, and to shoot arrows and great stones withal. And his name spread afar abroad, for he was marvelously helped till he was strong. Now check this out though, 16. But when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction. Oh my. Let me read that again. But when he was strong, a lot of guys, you've been made strong, you've been made great, right? With that title, the praise of men honoring you. What did Yahushua say in John 5? Yahushua said, I receive not honor from men. So with all, why is all these guys and that guy and this and this guy, you know, why are all these guys getting such double honors and honors? Because they're not of Yahushua. If you were of Yahushua, you'd be just as the master. But guys, they make themselves a master. They make themselves a Messiah, but they can't save a goddamn thing, and they ain't gonna be able to save themselves. But when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction, for he transgressed against the Lord his God and went into the temple of the Lord to burn incense upon the altar of incense. So even if you might be offering up something or bringing a sacrifice, Lord's not well pleased with it, man. If you're being proud and shit, man, and hating your brother and being arrogant and thinking you can't be told nothing, and like, oh, only the prophets are in my camp. It's just crazy. It's a lot of crazy reprobated mind things happening right now, man. You see what I'm saying? And Azariah the priest went in after him with him 80 priests of the Lord that were valiant men. So the true priests are valiant men, you know, and they're not gonna sit back and just allow the famous and the kings and, you know, elders or whoever to go against what the Lord really wants. Same thing with us. 1 Timothy 3:15. But if I tarry long, and the Lord said, though I tarry, wait for it. And a lot of guys are not waiting any longer. So it's woe to you guys. Woe to a lot of men. It says, but if I tarry long, thou mayest know how thou art to behave thyself in the house of God. You see? So there's a certain type of way you have to behave, man. Humbly. The Lord said, be clothed with humility, serving one another. That's what the Lord said to do. That word behave is to act correctly. See, act or conduct oneself in a specified way, especially toward others. And the Lord said, as we have therefore opportunity, let's not just do good unto those to men, but so much more to those of the household of faith. But see, guys ain't doing that because they don't have any faith, man. And these are the corrupt men that we have to be delivered from, because all men have not faith. Got to do Dathan, right, in Dallas, the head of Dallas, with the 5 o'clock shade. He was like, oh, you guys are so emotional. Nah, it's the spirit of the Lord. And then you had 666 Walking Dead say, oh, you guys are in a effeminate bitching spirit. This is what they're talking about, the Holy Spirit, man. Blasphemy, man. But see, what the wicked do is they turn around and they point the finger back with their multitudes. You're blaspheming. That's the same thing they did to Yahushua, same thing they did to Stephen. When they were not blaspheming, they were what? Telling the truth. And dying and striving for the truth, man. Says, which is the church of the living God, the pillar and ground of the truth. See, so that's why guys aren't grounded in this truth, because they're not amongst the true pillars, man, the true believers. You see? Isaiah 1:12, when they come to appear before me, who hath required this at your hand to tread my courts? Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and Sabbaths. Whew. Cause see, the thing is with the Pharisees and scribes that they wasn't healing anything on the Sabbath, man. See, the thing is with these Pharisees and scribes, they were being over righteous. See, if they would see their like mule in like a hole, they wouldn't go to save it or bring it to life. They just let it die. Oh, it's a Sabbath. I'll get to it Sunday. They get there Sunday and it's freaking 10 feet under, just dead. You see, they're not about life. They're just about themselves, and you know, and they misuse the prophets. They misuse the law, man. Says, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with it. It is iniquity, even the soul of meeting. Your new moons and your appointed feasts my soul hateth. They are trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. You see that? So the Lord doesn't care how many Passovers and freaking Days of Atonement and you know, Feast of Tabernacles and all these high holy days you keep. If it's not of the Lord, and if you're not in the spirit of Yahushua, his son, he hates it, man. You see, because they're putting all these carnal things and laying of the plates and eating lamb and this on the third and giving gifts and so on and so forth above Yahushua. You see, which the Lord didn't say that. The Lord didn't say, oh, put the law above me. You know, listen to the law above me. He didn't say that, man. It says, and when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide mine eyes from you. Yeah, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Whew, man. Your hands are full of blood. You see? So guys are full of blood, man. You see? It's crazy. First, I'm going to get a couple precepts. We're going to close out here, man. 1 Corinthians 11. In verse 22, what? Have ye not houses to eat and to drink in? Or despise they the church of God, you see? And shame that them that have not. What shall I say to you? Shall I praise you in this? I praise you not. For I have received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Yahushua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. So for as much as you eat and drink, and you also eat of this word, you're always doing in remembrance of what the Lord did for us. You see? Until he comes. You see? To keep your mind pure and keep you refreshed in the spirit. Psalms 89 and verse 3. I said, I have made a covenant with my chosen. I have sworn unto David my servant, thy seed will I establish forever, and build up thy throne to all generations. Salah. And the heavens shall praise thy wonders, and, O Lord, thy faithfulness also in the congregation of the saints. For who in the heaven can be compared unto the Lord? You see? And guys are trying to make themselves equal to Yahushua. They're trying to compare themselves to Yahushua. You see? And what did Paul say? We dare not make ourselves of that number. You know what I'm saying? Because no one's saved yet, man. It says, but the way men are and the way they're teaching and coming, you're going to see by those kind of signs that if they are of the Lord or not. So let's keep reading. It says, verse 6, who in the heaven can be compared unto the Lord? Who among the sons of the mighty can be likened unto the Lord? God is greatly to be feared in the assembly of the saints, and to be had in reverence of all them that are about him. So if you're really about the Lord, if you're about the Father's business, and you're really compassing the Lord's temple, then you're gonna understand why you are to greatly fear the Lord. And every single day, do your due diligence, make your carnal election sure, and offend less, and repent, man, and always ask the Lord for mercy and for him to cleanse in you a new spirit. See, because a lot of guys, they're not getting cleansed with a new spirit, the Holy Spirit. They're just they got that old spirit, that old bags, that old leaven. You see, and a lot of things are old and gonna pass away with this world. But see, the Lord, he's making all things new, and he's making all things new, and it starts with us, with this new song that we're singing. Lord, willing you brothers were edified. All praises, glory, honor, faith, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Barakah Kadash, and destruct and demise all the anti-Yahushais, all you proud and arrogant and filthy stones, and all you reprobate, levitating and rising to the top. But all you lively stones that hold weight, that bearing your cross daily, and you're at the bottom, the Lord shall lift us up when the time is right. And the time is just about right. Shalom.